Let's talk about democracy, but not in the way you might think. We're not going to treat it like some finished product sitting on a shelf. Instead, we're going to look at it as an idea, a project, really, that we've been trying to get right for centuries. And it's a project that might just be ready for its next big update.
You know, at its core, the idea is actually pretty simple. Demos and Kratos, power to the people. It's this wild idea that the folks who are governed should actually have a say in how they're governed. A principle so powerful, it's literally changed the course of human history.
So that brings us to the big question, the one that's going to drive this whole explainer. Is the version of democracy we have today the final form, the end of the line? Or is it just one more step in a really long journey?
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the very first experiment way back in ancient Athens. We'll trace its path to today, take an honest look at the cracks that are showing up in this system, and then, this is the really cool part, we're going to explore a new blueprint, a digital upgrade for democracy, and just as importantly, the rules you need to make it all work.
All right, let's rewind the clock. We have to start at the beginning, with the very first time anyone tried to give power to the people.
So in ancient Athens, democracy was direct. If you were a citizen, you went, you debated, and you voted on every single law. The upside? Obvious, right? No middleman. Your voice was your voice. But, and this is a big but, it had a couple of fatal flaws. First, it was basically a full-time job. And second, it ran headfirst into something called the problem of ignorance. Basically, citizens were voting on incredibly complex issues without all the facts, and this led to some truly terrible decisions. I mean, they literally condemned Socrates, one of history's greatest thinkers, to death by popular vote. Ouch. So clearly, that system wasn't built to last. Those flaws demanded a fix, and that fix was the next giant leap in this whole democratic story.
And this right here, this is the solution they came up with: representative democracy. Look, instead of everyone voting on everything all the time, we elect people to do that job for us. It was a genius fix for that participation problem. It meant people could actually go and live their lives. And compared to being ruled by kings or tyrants, this was a massive, massive improvement.
But you know how it goes, right? You fix one bug, and a whole bunch of new ones pop up. In solving the problems of ancient Athens, our current system created a whole new set of its own.
And what's wild is how these flaws kind of mirror the old ones. We swung the pendulum from way too much participation to, well, way too little. Now there's no real direct line for us to influence things between elections. All that power gets concentrated in one place, which, let's be honest, is just an open invitation for corruption and lobbying. Policy just swings back and forth, every time a new administration comes in. And here's the kicker, it never actually fixed that original ignorance problem from Athens.
And all of this creates one really specific and really tough vulnerability: the two-party trap. Think about it. When you only have two real choices, the parties don't have to work as hard for your vote. They can get lazy, complacent, and it pushes everything toward this rigid us versus them tribalism instead of, actual debate.
So more recently, people started thinking, okay, how do we actually fix that ignorance problem? And one idea that came up is deliberative democracy. The core idea is that good decisions shouldn't just come from a quick vote. They should come from an informed discussion. And where this has been tried, it works. When people get balanced info, they make better, more thoughtful choices. The only problem? It's really, really hard to do with more than a few hundred people at a time. It just doesn't scale.
So if the direct model from Athens had its flaws, and our representative model has cracks, and the deliberative model can't scale, what's next? Well, the argument we're digging into today is that the answer is a mashup of all three, supercharged by the technology we all have in our pockets.
Okay, so here's the core idea. Picture a national civic platform. Seriously, like an app on every single citizen's phone, designed specifically for us to engage with policy.
So how would this thing actually work? Well, any citizen could propose and debate policies. The best ideas, the most thoughtful arguments would rise to the top, kind of like on Reddit, where they're ranked democratically on merit. For every single issue, experts would provide fact-based evidence. And then, after that deliberation, citizens would vote directly. See what it's doing? It's taking the directness of Athens, mixing it with the informed debate of deliberation, and then using technology to solve that scaling problem.
Now, this doesn't mean we get rid of representatives. No, they'd still get elected, they'd still govern. But, and this is absolutely key, the platform would give all of us a permanent vote of non-confidence, a digital recall button. So if our representatives stop serving our interests, we don't have to wait years for the next election. Their power could be revoked at any time. It's constant,
real-time accountability.
Okay, an app sounds great, but a tool this powerful is a non-starter without the right rules. You can't just build the tech and walk away. The whole system needs a foundation. It needs guardrails to make sure it's secure and fair.
First things first, you have to get big money out of the equation. The proposal here is something called democracy dollars. The government would give every citizen special vouchers, money they can only use to donate to political candidates. So the same amount of money is in politics, but look, its source completely shifts. It's no longer coming from big corporations. It's coming from us, the people, in small, equal chunks.
Next up, you have to fix the voting system itself. Right now, most of us use a winner-take-all system, which often forces you to vote against the person you really dislike instead of for the person you actually support. Ranked choice voting completely changes that. It lets you rank candidates in order of preference. This simple change helps reveal which candidate actually has the broadest support from everyone, not just who managed to get a slim majority.
And this brings us right back to the oldest problem in the book, voter ignorance. The source material makes, I think, a really powerful point here. I mean, a democracy can only ever be as smart as its people, right? So blaming the system when people aren't informed is just missing the point. It's like leaving out half the ingredients and then wondering why the cake tastes bad. The key ingredient has always been and will always be education.
So here's the crucial thing to understand. All these pieces have to work together. They're not optional add-ons, they're the foundation. You need civic education to fight ignorance. You need democracy dollars to fight corporate influence, ranked choice voting for fairer elections, a rock-solid constitution and judiciary to protect everyone from the tyranny of the majority. And of course, you need state-of-the-art security to make sure the whole thing is safe from fraud. It's the full package or nothing.
And all of this builds to a final and maybe the most important idea. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about our role in all of this.
I mean, what a great way to put it. For too long, I think we've treated democracy like a spectator sport, something we just watch on TV every few years. But this model says no. Democracy is a skill. It's like a muscle. And just like any muscle, it gets stronger with practice, but only if we have the right training and the right tools.
The amazing thing is, the technology to build something like this actually exists right now. We could, in theory, create a system that combines the best parts of every democratic model we've ever tried. Direct, deliberative, and representative, all at once. Which really just leaves us with one last question to chew on. Is this the tool we've been waiting for to finally help democracy reach its full potential?